Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. On the show tonight, we'll be taking a review of the Africa Cup of Nations because Austin Okonakpan is back from Yaoundé in Cameroon. And also, we'll be talking about drone soccer. Yes, drone soccer, you know what that means? You find out more on this program. And Edo State have unveiled new jersey for the team, the men and the women's team. For the men, 50 million naira. Yes, that's the deal signed by, that's the deal they signed with commercial bank for them to kit the men's team. For the women, well, we'll find out more on the program. Yes, I'm not alone. As I said earlier, Austin Okonakpan is right here in the studio. Well, the last time we spoke to him, he was in Yaoundé, right? That was yesterday morning. Right now, tonight, he's here. Austin, how are you doing?
What a great day, Cecilia. It's good to be here. Actually, you couldn't just wait to let them know that I'm back here with you, but I'm super excited to be. This is the last time I was here. I was sitting down there anchoring the show, but it feels good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly, I mean, what was it like in Cameroon? The whole tournament, everything from the organization to, of course, the stampede that happened, a dent a little bit on it, and every other thing. And the final was awesome.
It was the sort of final we wanted, you know. And when Mane missed that penalty in the 7th minute, I was like, we're going to have a final tonight, you know. And it went all the way. We saw good football. I think the team that deserved to win the trophy actually won the trophy. So it was a good show of football. I said in one of my reports that said Cameroon gave Africa a beautiful show of football because we saw beautiful football. The likes of Zimbabwe, Gambia, you know, Equatorial Guinea, Comoros. Countries that you'd never, I mean, we're getting worried with the new format that with so much teams, we will not see competitive football. But with 24 teams, it was beautiful. Teams that you expected to go all the way from the round of 16 got knocked out in the round of 16. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. You know, so, but it was all around good football. You mentioned what happened at the Olympic Stadium in the round of 16 when we had the stampede. Unfortunately, we lost people, but I like the approach CAF took. They stepped right into it and said, this will not happen again. And I'm sure with part of their recommendations for what we should see in Cote d'Ivoire, good crowd control management. But in all, I love the sort of football I saw in Cameroon. I saw the level of orderliness. The country wanted to prove a point. Remember, Cecilia, there were a lot of back and forth. And at some time, why am I saying Senegal? So it's good to win. People remember you. At some point, Cameroon, they were even worried whether CAF was trying to play politics with them hosting the competition. But here we are. It has come and it has gone.
Yeah. What was the most surprising moment for you?
Most surprising moment for me at the AFCON, I think it was the way Egypt handled Morocco in the semi-finals. They were very tactical, they were strategic. It was a North African derby and they needed to prove a point. And oh my, what a way to do it. And we were clamoring for Mo Salah to pop up and show us the quality that he's got. And he did just that in that match. You know, so like, honestly, that shouldn't surprise you. It did because at that point, we needed to see something special from Egypt, and they actually gave that, you know. And if I want to be greedy, I like what Burkina Faso also did, you know, right from when they played Tunisia. I was telling someone that Burkina Faso will handle Tunisia the way Nigeria didn't, and they did just that. And even with a man down, they still went on to win. So basically, it was an unpredictable AFCON, filled with surprises and upsets. And for me, it's a good way to say African football is competitive now.
Okay, your lowest moment?
It must be the stampede at Olimbe. And because it could have been avoided. And this is what we're saying, that we must continue to use, particularly the media, to educate fans, to educate people that when you go to the stadium, there's need to be orderly, you know, there's need to be responsible, not just for yourself, look after the other person. The fact that, okay, Cameron said, go out there, support the team. When you go to the stadium, just be calm. You're there for the love of the game, you know. Why it was so low is because it could have been avoided, and we shouldn't be having this sort of situation in African football in 2022. So hopefully this won't happen again. CAF has said a lot of things. I'm sure they will look through that report and make sure that it doesn't repeat itself again.
We're just looking forward to Cote d'Ivoire, but then the biggest shock for you, we saw you talked about upsets in the tournament. Biggest shock for you, Nigeria losing in round of 16, of course, the answer that coming. Gambia beating Tunisia. Comoros taking out Ghana. Which of them?
It has to be Comoros, Cecilia. For a team that is ranked, I think, 152 in the world at the time, beating the almighty Black Stars of Ghana. In fact, it's their first AFCON win. And they didn't just stop there. They went on to give us a spirited performance in the round of 16 against Cameroon. With all of the support Cameroon was receiving, they kept fighting, one man down. Defender became goalkeeper. And gracious goodness, the free kick scored by Chamanga. It was beautiful. Comoros told us a beautiful story. And look, whether or not they didn't go all the way, the little things that they did, they gave us a beautiful story to tell about the AFCON.
Interesting. I think that's it. Okay, now, obviously our focus will be on Côte d'Ivoire. I mean, you've mentioned that some of the things that happen, and CAF are intending to work on it to ensure that it doesn't repeat itself again. And the story is that Côte d'Ivoire will be June, July. Is that a good thing for African football? Because the focus we had, the whole world, because this is the only tournament that's taking place, the whole world were focused on, Sky Sport, for instance, nobody the rights to actually air AFCON live everywhere. So people got to see it. So June, July, is it a good thing for African football, really?
I think we'll never know what it is until we try it.
We've done it before. Remember the World Cup was going on, the Nations Cup was going on, and we're divided.
And maybe at that time, they didn't see commercial value. Maybe now they might be commercial value.
Because all eyes were obviously on the women's football because of the crowd, because of the energy and everything that went into the organization by France.
You know, but with football, I think people will watch what they like.
Okay.
And if it's our football, we will watch it. Just for instance, there were a lot of talks about, oh, the AFCON, is Cameroon ready? Will it be beautiful? Will people follow?
It was, because January, February.
Yeah, because they are not playing football, I understand, Cecilia. But check it. The Asian competitions, they don't really care.
Sometimes they stuck with their time. Why is Africa moving June, July, January, February?
Listen, I'm saying CAF would have monitored it. Cecilia, if they put the AFCON when they are playing the World Cup final, if it is Super Eagles taking on another team in the AFCON final, trust me that the entire country will be watching that match.
Yeah, I'm talking about a global audience right now, like what we saw, what we witnessed in this AFCON. That's what I want to see regularly.
But let's not give away the place of branding.
Okay.
Maybe just trying to do something new, and we're getting to that stage where we must be competitive. I understand that people will come out and say, oh, if there are bigger competitions, they will watch. But I think if you want to be out there, you want to be competitive, you gotta chill with the big boys. Maybe that's what CAF is trying to do. And if there's commercial value to it, Cecilia, don't worry for them. We're going to see beautiful football, and hopefully it will promote the African heritage.
All right, hopefully we're going to see that in Côte d'Ivoire. And hopefully Spreggles of Nigeria, time to win it. Again, for the fourth time. All right. Okay, we're leaving AFCON and quickly talk about this one, drone soccer, before I get you out of the studio. Drone soccer, you know, there's this, you know, when you talk about technology usually, I mean, there are different ways to actually make students to want to get into technology. And the first time is for you to try as much as possible something that will catch their interest. And that's what U.S. Consulate and, of course, Lagos State Ministry of Education is trying to do in this aspect, introducing drone soccer competition in Lagos. That's the first of its kind in Africa. So this is actually to promote STEM education, provide students with the opportunity to contribute to creating sustainable and inclusive economic prosperity in the country. And about 71 students took part in this. 8 girl-led teams selected from 71 students from public schools across Agege, Alimosho, if I could, just all the underserved community, you know, in Lagos. That's what they put together. So U.S. Consulate is trying to do something that, you know, people will be wondering, how do you catch these kids to get their interest in technology? And they're using sport, soccer, as an avenue for it.
That's what it is. And you see, if you check it, it's the world's newest e-sport, played with flying quadcopters in protective plastic ecosystem. For me, why do I like this, Cecilia? Not everybody will play football on the pitch. And so they brought futsal. Not everybody will play futsal. We have beach soccer. Now we have drone soccer. You know, people were thinking it's about making sure that everyone comes together, and one way or the other, you do it for the love of the game. It gets even more special that they are bringing in girls, you know, and this is a good way to engage them. This is a good way to promote sports and education. And for the U.S. Consulate, they've thought about it. say bring them all out to the pitch. Some parents will say, my girl child can't play football, it will be too dangerous and all that. Then they've brought this together. It will create bonding, they'll make new friends, they'll make use of their creative capabilities, and that's why I was saying that sport has got the power to transform lives. It's just how we get to use it.
Just
so
how we use
this
it.
is really commendable.
This is good.
Drone
I mean,
soccer.
just learning
I need to really go look into it because
yes.
it looks like it's going to be very interesting, and I see a lot of creative work, being put into this, and this is just the way to go.
Yeah, educational robotic competitions, you will say. Okay, that's a U.S. Consulate Public Affairs Officer, Stephen Ibeli. And maybe we'll just take a listen to him. And, of course, Austin is going to give way for our guest in the studio, Kehinde Idris. Austin, all right, we'll be together on the show on Thursday, right?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed before you get to England.
All right.
All right, let's take a listen to the man you just saw, Stephen Ibeli, talking about drone soccer in the country.
This drone soccer competition, which is the first in Nigeria and indeed the first on the continent of Africa, is a culmination of months and months of training that we've done in a very underserved school district in Lagos, District 1 in Agege. And I think people are realizing that you can do this in an economical way, you can do this in a creative way, you can do this in an innovative way through not very, very expensive articles. And I think that's really, really what we've shown. And I think that's why there's so much interest, because it applies to all of the schools. We trained teachers from every school practically in District 1. There were students from every school. 72 teams applied to be part of this competition, and we had to choose 8. It's a very difficult choice, but we got it down to 8, and all of these teams are captained by girls. Of course, boys are competing as well, but they're captained by girls right here. All these girls here, and so we're really, really proud of that.
We're here for the first ever drone soccer competition in Africa. The students have spent 8 weeks, all right, and there's actually 8 teams as well, predominantly female-led teams, and they have been practicing and putting their drones together and building them and crashing them and building them again. Students have taken, this opportunity, and really we can see what impact it has, on their lives. We're using this as a seed to plant, to say, all right, I can engineer a drone, I can fly a drone, now what else can I do? So it's very innovative, 21st century technology, and yeah, we're looking forward to doing more.
Eno Umo right there. That's one of the co-founder of the U.S. headquarter Global Air Drone Academy, also talking about the essence of this, allowing girls to be able to have interest in STEM education, get used to technology, and what a way to do that is through drone soccer. Kehinde is here, after Austin made way. Kehinde, how are you doing?
Very good.
Good evening.
I can remember the last time we did the night show. It used to be the morning show. But it's good to have you on the other side.
You're back, right? Yeah, I'm sitting in for
looking
Yemi.
good in red.
Yemi needs to go on vacation.
Yes,
so,
yes.
So I'll be here for the next 3 weeks. You're stuck with me for a while.
No problem.
All right.
I was stuck with you that period too when it was on break. For the drone football, I heard Austin talking about a very beautiful angle.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe soccer in itself. Some people say my child is fragile. She cannot get involved. He cannot get involved and all of that. I don't want her bones getting broken. But this is drone football. Now you've taken away all the grit. That has to do with the senses.
Technology, yeah.
Technology. And I love the fact that we're not talking about, hey, quote and unquote, the VI kids, the Lekki kids, the Aja kids.
Yeah.
We're talking mainland. Iyanokpaja, Ijayi. The winner, pace setters from Ijayi right there. And then, all the axis, Alimosho axis, which so many people always feel, so many no good child comes from that way.
Community.
Yes, and then we are having kids who spoke to us so well, who came up with deep technological thoughts, and it's so applauded for me, well applauded, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, talking about the kids, so let's take a listen to some of the students, what they've learned from the drone soccer.
I'm so excited and happy to be here today because this is a great privilege whereby other students are looking for this ball. I just thank the Lagos State government and the US Consulate for bringing this opportunity down to us. I learned quite a lot of things here because I got to know how advanced technology has been. I now have a wider range of knowledge about how technology and science is now used around the whole world.
I'm really excited about today because this is the first drone soccer game in Africa. So I'm really opportune to be one of the one of the participants of today's event. And we have been training for 9 weeks. I think that is enough time for us to learn and to know a lot about drone soccer and how to play it.
I feel really great, it's fun. Even when I heard about it, I was like, I want to touch it, I want to touch it, I want to see it, I want to feel it in my hands. I've always seen it in film, so I just want to have it in my hands, fly it. And so when people ask me, have you flown on the drone? I'm like, yeah, it's flown like this, flown like that. Show them how it is being flown.
Because it allows us to use to get a lighting on the positive use of technology. So the impact it has made in my life, it allowed me to think critically how to use this drone technology to solve real life problems, especially in the military aspect. And also I want to be an OBGYN, which means obstetrician and gynecologist. So I could actually use this initiative of drone to help in collation of data and make it a device related to the drone structure.
How brilliant. I mean, he's still in school. It's just his dreams are so enormous. Now, the thing is that the best three schools actually went home with a prize of $1,500 and STEM lab each for their respective schools. So this is great technology, soccer, everything mixing up together. It's the first of its kind in Africa. And of course, hopefully it's going to continue every year with the backing of a U.S. consulate. You talked about the underserved community, and they spoke so well. I mean, they're enjoying it.
The consulate talked about $20 million involved in this for schools around the world, and Nigeria is part of it. And look at, sorry, I want to ask, growing up while you're schooling, OBGIS, did we have such dream? I doubt. So you can see kids from...
Why are you shaking people like this?
The kids from that way.
Yeah, you just said medicine. You won't define what you want to study. You just put
every child.
You say medicine.
Yes,
and then
you say exactly. But look at they are going deeper.
He knows
because
what he wants to do.
They're exposed now. So you expose a child. It's like a clean slate.
Yeah.
Whatever you write at this level sticks.
That's what sticks. All right, let's leave drone soccer and talk about the real football. Benin Insurance and Edo Queens, of course, they'll be having new jersey. For Edo Queens, the first stanza of Nigerian Women's Football League has ended. So for the second stanza, they will be using new jersey. So the both Edo Queens and Benin Insurance, the kits were unveiled today in Benin City, Edo State. And of course, it was also an opportunity, for those present to really see this. And the good news, is the fact that Nigerian National League side, I'm talking about Benin Insurance, they secured a deal of 50 million kit endorsement. So this is great. I don't know if we've had any Premier League club side, I'm talking about MPFL now, to even have 50 million naira kit deal, or talk less of NNL side to be able to do this. I don't know if there's the highest bid, but we need to find out. But this is something we really want to see, talking about private people actually coming in to sponsor clubs. And this is a National League side.
I'm not even, yes, the money is the catch point.
Yeah.
But this, the way you present it, you see these little things that comes with football. That is what makes football special. Yes, you want to see the good football being played, those free kicks, those mesmerizing skills, but unveiling of a player, unveiling of jersey, what we have to look forward to, all those paparazzis makes football a wholesome, interesting package. And that is what we're now bringing. Aqua United does something like this. Also, Remo Stars at the NNL. I don't know what amount their deal is, but this is massive. This is good. And after you got such an enormous deal, you're presenting it to us this way. I think everything has thumbs up written all over it.
Yeah, it's really great. And for the National League, we know it's going to be starting February 11th. And Benin Insurance are in Group I, Group 1, Group B1. NNL, alongside JRTT, there's Bandresa, there's Destiny Boys, there's Godowski, there's Abeokuta Stormers, Campus FC, Giant Brillers, Ibom Youth, Ekiti United, and Gateway United. That's the team that are in Group B1. That's alongside, you see, dignitaries were actually present. The interim coach of Super Eagles, Austin Eguavoen, you saw him there, Deputy Governor, of course, there. Shey Akiwumi also there. And there was a message that was really sent to the NFF that they should try as much as possible to make clubs professional. And the thing about Edo State is the fact that if you check what they are doing for the men, they are doing it for the women. I mean, the wages, the bonuses, everything.
They confirm
the same.
They confirm that.
It's the same. So there's nothing like, okay, the men are earning less or the women are earning less.
Because
so that equity is what we're looking for.
Ladies have achieved so much.
Yeah.
They've achieved so much. Yes, the male are also there, but the ladies are also pulling their weight. So why not make everybody happy and get more from everybody? And Edo State leading the way, you know, right there. Also, Rivers are doing the same.
Yeah.
Make everybody happy. And then you don't know where this success... I can remember the words of Danny Jordan, the FA president in South Africa. He said if there is to be a team that will win the World Cup first in Africa, it will be a feminine team.
Okay. Let's see what's going to happen. We need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be listening to the Deputy Governor of Edo State and also the Governor of the state talking about what other clubs need to learn from what the state is doing, especially in developing sports.
The first club that is unveiling a package of 50 million, up to cash 50 million, to just have a company advertise its product on the chest of the jersey. And we have been trying to make the club a professional club, both Bender Insurance and Eguavoen. And these clubs is just a flash to what we want to do with other sports. You know, we have about 35 of them. And what we are saying with Bender Insurance and Eguavoen is what we are doing all through all the clubs and sports in Edo State. I want to challenge our NFF people. We have spoken in private. I also want to make it in public. Please make our team in Nigeria a professional team. Sanction any club that do not follow your rules, because that is the starting point. We are celebrating the North Africans. We can no longer win Champions League. We can no longer win CAF League. Because we don't have the talent, but because of bad administration.
As a government, we are very, very clear that our emphasis is on our people. We are lucky sports is not on the exclusive list in this country, in our constitution. So we are not going to wait for anybody to develop sports and develop our sportsmen to be global sportsmen. We'll continue to invest our, as the First Lady say, hard-earned resources in sports, and we'll monitor that those investments yield the required outcomes and results.
When you're talking about yielding required results, it simply means Bender Insurance and Eguavoen will need to win at least any trophy this season for that investment to really be reckoned with, because you can invest so much and not get anything. So the more you give, the more you obviously want to, you know, how do I put it now, replicate the success everywhere across the board for both teams. So the message is clear. And of course, alluding to, you know, we Africans, I mean, not Africans, I'm talking about Nigeria, for instance, Nigerian clubs, league, I mean, CAF Champions League. When was the last time?
CAF Confederation
CAF Confederation Cup, CAF Champions League, anyone?
Yeah.
Eimba, right?
That was the last time. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know it was this long. Okay.
The beauty in both the deputy governor and also the governor is the fact that they did not just limit it to Bender Insurance and Eguavoen. They made it the entire country. That whatever we're doing, we're trying to set an example. You should copy. And then for the administrators that are here, whatever you can do to get us back on track to doing things the right way, so that we can jostle for so many laurels in Africa. Because see, Al-Ahly today is playing the World Club competition.
Yeah, they lost.
Because, yes, I'm saying at least that's exposure to the players who never left Egypt right there. So if Eimba gets to win, Aqua United gets to win CAF Champions League, that means the players will get exposed to playing the likes of Chelsea, Real Madrid, and all of that. That means you don't need to live here to go play out there before you rub shoulders with these guys. There are so many competitions today. So let us do the needful. And probably Edo and the likes I mentioned, Rivers and so many other persons are already setting the pace. Let others follow.
Follow. As simple as that, others should follow this. Okay, still staying with football, let's quickly tell you about the game that will go down on Wednesday. I'm talking about Nigeria Professional Football League. Heartland and Gombe United will be in action. For Heartland, yes, I mean, the players, playing hungry, so to speak. We're still trying to hear from, if the players have been paid. Have you heard any news?
No.
Okay, you haven't, right? They said they should give them more time.
But it's been approved.
It's been approved. Approval.
It's delivery that we want.
That we want. Okay,
yes.
Let's see if they can deliver. But Heartland and Gombe United will be in action. And that game, obviously, Heartland is at home.
Yes.
Okay, possibility of Gombe.
I like hungry Heartland. Okay. I'm wondering who is even playing for Heartland now. Because all of their players are protesting. Is it the protesting players that are also coming on? It's just a funny time. And this is part of what the deputy governor is talking about. Sanction those that need to be sanctioned.
Clubs,
Like an administrator once said, if at the end of the day, after your requirement, we have only 8 teams left to play, let's play.
Let them play professional football.
Aisha Falode has shown us. Yeah. Did you miss any team? When we had 12 teams and when we had 14 teams, it seemed like the league was the league.
On, yeah.
So whether you're there or not, we'll make it beautiful. Yeah. If at the end of the day we'll play Super 8, we'll play Super 6, just to get our winners, we can always make it fine.
That's the thing. And for Heartland, they're bottom of the table. After 10 games, they are on 7 points. Okay, let's see if they can get out from that bottom, because MFM and also Katsina and Dakada, they're all brothers down there in the Nigerian Professional Football League.
Yeah, having family meetings.
Big time. So leaving that, I mean, talking about CAF Confederations Cup, CAF Champions League. You remember when FIFA President Gianni Infantino talked about this CAF Super League?
Yeah.
Of course, we know what happened in Europe. It was kicked against. They didn't want that. But in Africa, they want to have something like that. And President of Nigerian Football Federation has been talking about what this will mean for African football. That's talking about the CAF Super League. Let's take a listen to him.
It was called the Super League. You know, I cannot give any other information until we finish our consultations, which has been going on extensively. We cannot be left behind in Africa. We cannot be called the giant of Africa just for the sake of nomenclature. We must be seen to be acting truly as giant of Africa. And that's what we're going to be doing. So any club that is listed there, we have to provide them everything they need, because it's huge. It's a money spinner. Is everything that everybody is looking for. At the moment, Eyimba is there, listed. A couple of clubs, they are going to go into that fold, and we'll work and ensure that we feature very prominently.
Featured prominently. That is key for Nigerian clubs to be at the CAF Super League. What do you think?
You know, since when Infantino came in, he wants something to happen with African football, or to African football.
More competition.
Yes, where we pull ourselves from being at that bottom. Look at what Asia is doing. Asia is having different forms of competition just to bring them to prominence. Probably semblance of what you can talk about in South America. Because if you're going to Europe, that one is in another league. Those ones have gone. Yeah. But bring yourself to a level where you can even rub shoulder. And that is why the CAF Super League looks like accepted. Just do something. They also talked about the UNL, replicating it in Africa, the UNL in Europe, you know, just
UEFA
Nations League. Yes, that would be African Nations League. Something that would just bring competitions, bring football more to Africa. It seems like we have so less competition. Aside the club football, if you're talking African national team football, it's just the CAF Champions, the Nations Cup, and then you talk about the qualifiers. But now we're talking things that international footballers in Africa will be looking forward to at, you know, regular intervals. Then for the clubs also do more. So I think that's why this acceptance, and I'm so excited about it. Now, this is our own president, NFF Amaju. He's talking about we, the African, the Nigerian clubs will be actively involved
in it.
So I want to watch Eyimba every day. I want to watch Aqua United every day. Probably Aqua United playing Al-Ali every day. Hey, you get my attention. Or Esperance playing Eyimba every day will get my attention. So Al-Hilal from Sudan and all of that. So these big teams will get our attention, at least for now. Before something we might now say we should stop it. Let's enjoy big teams go up against each other in Africa.
All right, we can't wait for it to happen. Okay, let's now talk about, you know, the structuring of the, is it restructure? You just had 2 people to read, not really 2, 1, yeah? Amunike has joined the coaching crew now, while some had to step down. I'm talking about the structuring of the Super Eagles technical crew. With Austin Eguavoen, still the technical advice, of course, on interim base, and Emmanuel Amunike, now the chief coach and also first assistant. Simply Salisu Yusuf is still there, second assistant, and also chief coach Chan.